Well, there is a concept about connecting over common emotions. So there are 8 of them. So when I first heard about this concept, the opening line for the whole concept was 100% of the world's entire population will connect with each other over 8 core feelings. This is 100% of the world's population. So if you know what those are, and then you factor that content, so 100% of the world's population connect over these 8 core feelings. So therefore, in your content, whether it's the pictures but this is a big factor when you're building your bullets, because people look at those bullets, and then if you communicate this message, you'll be successful in connecting with whoever is looking at that page. So the reason I bring this up is because you mentioned safety, and guess what number 1 core feeling is that people connect over?
Safety and security.
Survival and safety. So there is a good chance that you can find that safety factor in any product, or I should say majority of the products, which is food, toys, or personal items, home goods, you name it. I mean, things catching fire, certain clothes, being more exposed. So it's important. So of course, this all ties back to the persona, right? So if especially one of the personas, or there is like a dominant persona who is safety conscious, then you have to build your content around safety, and then that's going to get your conversion much greater. And of course, better conversion usually means better ranking, so, and better return on ad spend, right? So everything ties back to conversion at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing that I want to stress here is campaign structure that is aligned to these personas. So, a lot of times what we'll find when we start looking at an account for the first time is they have their keywords grouped into branded, non-branded, and competitor, or maybe there's a 4th category, but typically it's that. And then campaigns will be structured with a couple of products in a campaign against all the non-branded terms, which it's definitely good to segment that way. But what we want to drive is increased campaign structure granularity that is aligned with these personas. So a couple of campaigns that are specifically targeting the safety element, non-branded search terms that mention safety or are related to that concept in some way. And that way we can understand how we're performing against that persona. Otherwise, it's just very complicated to try to analyze your ad performance against these personas if you don't break out your campaigns that way. But if you do, it becomes very easy to see how much share of voice have we gained against, the safety persona. What are our main competing brands within the safety persona? And then we can start to do cross persona overlap campaigns where we can take a look at, we've identified this persona, the safety persona, let's call it. And we've also identified that 2 of our major competitors, what we're finding is safety terms and their branded terms. And so that way, we can have a campaign that is targeting non-branded safety persona keywords. And we can have a set of campaigns that's targeting competing brand X and the safety component, just the overlap between those keywords. Because then that's how you steal market share from your competitors. You don't just want to target all of their branded terms. That's going to be very expensive and an uphill battle always. But if you can identify these cross-persona overlaps, we can take the safety persona from our competitor. We can dominate the safety persona from the non-branded side, and we can take all of the shoppers that are searching for our competitors with those safety terms, and we can dominate that persona entirely. And then once you have an organic presence there, once you've, dominated that persona for long enough that you are organically dominating it, then you move down your priority list and you say, okay, well, competitor Y, overlaps with this other persona, and that's going to be our next target. And so that's sort of like what the output eventually comes out of this exercise is very granular campaign structure targeting these personas and measuring your growth against them.